It's not so easily dismissed.
Yan.
The enemy has slain double kill. Let's see who has the last back up. Retreat. He who has the last laugh. Initiate retreat. Last back up. Silenced.
Finally. Alright. Okay, let's try to finish. So, ko din na tayo. Okay. Oops, I don't have a lo-fi music background. So just cafe vibes. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay. Ay nako. Wala talaga ako sa mood ngayong weekend mag-aaral. But anyways. I'll try my best to finish chapter 18. Oh no, wala akong sounds. Ah, yeah, I forgot. Sounds. Feedback. Right. Okay, may sounds na siya. CR lang. Okay, so let's start. Kailangan ko bumalik pa na maraming indoor sleepers. Nalig. Okay, so ito na tayo chapter 18 and this is the final chapter 4, part 2. Depends with all the choices available. Should analysis and thought about trade-offs of architecture that the system made in consideration achieve cost and a host of other things. However, contextual validation is some general advice that exists in choosing appropriate architecture style. Shifting fashion in architecture. Preferred architecture style shifts over time driven by a number of factors. Observation from the past. New architecture styles generally arise from observations and pain points from past experiences. Architects have experience with systems in the past that influence their thoughts about future system. Architects must rely on their past experience. It is that experience that allowed the person to become an architect in the first place. Often, new architecture designs reflect specific deficiencies from past architecture styles. For example, architects seriously rethought the implication of code reuse after building architectures that featured it and then realizing the negative trade-offs. Changes in ecosystem. Constant change is a reliable feature of software development ecosystem. Everything changes all the time. The change in our ecosystem is particular chaotic, making even the type of change impossible to predict. For example, a few years ago, no one knew that what Kubernetes was. Conferences around the world with thousands of developers in a few years. Kubernetes, paano pabasahin niya, may be replaced with some other tool that hasn't been written yet. New capabilities. When new architecture arises, architecture may not merely replace one tool with another, but rather shifts to an entirely new paradigm. For example, for architects or developers anticipate the tectonic shift caused in the software development world by the advent of containers such as Docker. While it was an evolutionary step, the impact it had on architects, tools, engineering practices, and a host of other factors astounded most in the industry. The constant change in the ecosystem also delivers a new collection of tools and capabilities on a regular basis. Architects must keep a keen eye open to not only new tools but new paradigms. Something may just look like a new one of something we already have, but it may include nuances of other changes that make it a game changer. New capabilities that even have to rock the entire development world. The new features may be a minor change that aligns exactly with the architect goals. Acceleration. innovation. Not only does the ecosystem constantly change, but the rate of change also continues to rise. New tools create new engineering practices which lead to a new design and capabilities. Architects live in a constant state of flux because change is both pervasive and constant. What is pervasive? Hindi ko alam yung word yan. Negative smell, no? Parang negative meaning siya. If it's used in a, pagka nilagay mo siya in a sentence, parang negative yung dating. Domain changes. The domain that developers write software for constantly shift and changes either because the business continues to evolve or because factor like mergers with other companies. Technology changes. As technology continues to evolve, organizations try to keep up with at least some of these changes, especially those with obvious bottom line benefits. Okay. External factors. Many external factors only peripherally associated with software development. Might be perfectly happy with particular tool, but the licensing cost has become prohibitive, forcing migration to another option. Regardless where an organization stands in terms of current architecture fashion, an architect should understand currently trends to make intelligent decisions about when to follow and when to make exceptions. Kaya hindi yung laging sunod sa uso, no? There's always need to think of. Decision criteria. When choosing an architecture style, architect must take into account all the various factors that contribute to the structure for the domain design. Fundamentally, an architect designs two things: whatever domain has been specified and all other architectural structural elements required to make the system success. Architects should go into the design decision comfortable with the following is the domain. Architects should understand many important aspects of the domain, especially those that affect operational architecture characteristics. Architects don't have to be subject matter experts, but they must have at least good general understanding of the major aspect of the domain under design. Architecture characteristics that impact structure. Architects must discover and elucidate the architecture characteristics needed to support the domain and other external factors. Data architecture, architects and DBAs must collaborate on database schema and other data-related concerns. We don't cover much about data architecture in this book. It is its own specialization. However, architects must understand the impact that data design might have on their design, particularly if the new system must interact with an older and/or in-use data architecture. Organization factor. Many external factors may influence design. For example, the cost of a particular cloud vendor may prevent the ideal design. Or perhaps the company plans to engage in mergers and acquisitions, which encourage an architect to gravitate toward open solutions and integration architectures. Knowledge of process teams and operational controls. Many specific project factors influence on architect decisions such as the software development process, interaction or lack of with operations. In the QA process, for example, if an organization lacks maturity in agile engineering practices, architecture styles that rely on those practices for success will present difficulties. Medyo madami pala na decision criteria. Data architecture, organization factors, architectural characteristics that impact structure, the domain. Pero pasok sa akin tong domain na to since I like to parang study different domains para magkaroon ako ng idea but not really to be expert on that subject matter. knowledge of process teams, and operational concerns. Many specific project factors influence an architect's design, such as software development process, interaction or lack of with operations, and the QA process. For example, if an organization lacks maturity in agile engineering practice, architecture styles that rely on those practices for success will present difficulties. Parang nagkakaroon ako ng ano dito. Nakarelate ako dito. Domain architecture isomorphism. Some problem domains match the topology of the architecture. For example, a microkernel architecture is perfectly suited to a system that requires customizability. The architect can design customization as plugins. Another example might genome analysis, which requires a large number of discrete operations, space-based architecture, which offers a large number of discrete processors. Dami masyadong kailangan mukhang madaming reading dito sa chapter na to. Medyo madami nga siya. Hindi. Yeah, a few pages na lang. Yung madami. So more on case study na pala tong isa. Okay, let's see. After this, magko-code na ako or maglalaro ako. Nasuka din. Kung ano magiging mood ko later. Similarly, some problem domains be particularly ill-suited for architecture styles. For example, a highly scalable system struggles with large monolithic design because architects find it difficult to support a large number of concurrent users in a highly coupled code base. A problem domain that includes a huge distributed architecture, for instance, an insurance company application consisting of multi-page forms, each of which is based on the context of previous pages, would be difficult to model in microservices. Here is a highly coupled problem that will present architects with design challenges in a decoupled architecture. A less coupled architecture like service-based architecture would suit this problem better. Okay. Ang dami. Taking all these things into account, the architect must make several determinations. Monolith versus distributed. Using the quantum concept discussed earlier, the architect must determine if a single set of architecture characteristics will suffice for the design, or do different parts of the system need different architecture characteristics. A single set implies that a monolith is suitable, although other factors may drive an architect toward a distributed architecture, whereas different architecture characteristics imply a distributed architecture. Haba. So, kailangan magkaroon ng good analytical thinking yung architecture when to use the monolith and distributed. Pero ito naman yung inaalaw throughout the part 1 and part 2. Where should data live? If the architecture is monolith, architects commonly assume a single relational database or a few of them. In a distributed architecture, the architect must decide which services should persist, which also implies thinking about how data must flow throughout the architecture to build workflows. Masyadong malakas yung sounds. What communication styles between services, synchronous or asynchronous? Once the architect has determined data partitioning, their next design consideration is the communication between services, synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous communication is more convenient in most cases, but it can lead to scalability, reliability, and other undesirable characteristics. Asynchronous communication can provide unique benefits in terms of performance and scale, but can present a host of headaches, data synchronization, deadlock, rest condition, debugging, and so on. Because synchronous communication presents fewer design implementation and debugging challenges, architects should default to synchronous when possible and use asynchronous when necessary. Use synchronous by default, asynchronous when necessary. Usual, ganyan naman sa mga programming that they always default to synchronous one. The output of this design process is architecture topology, taking into account what architecture style and hybridizations, hindi pa rin nabasa tong word na to, hybridizations, parang turning something into a hybrid, no? The architect chose architecture design requires about the parts of the design which require the most effort by the architect, and architecture fitness functions to protect important principles and operational architecture characteristics. Monolith case study, silicon sandwiches. Nakalimutan ko na tong case study na to. Ang dami na kasing chapter. In the silicon sandwich architecture kata, after investigating the architecture characteristics, we determined that a single quantum was sufficient to implement this system. Plus, this is a simple application with a huge budget, so the simplicity of monolith appeals. However, we created two different components designs for silicon sandwiches, one domain partition and another technical partition. Given the simplicity of the solution, we'll create designs for each and cover trade-offs. Modular monolith. A modular monolith builds domain-centric components with a single database. Deployed as a single quantum, the modular monolith designed for silicon sandwiches appears in figure 18-1. This is a monolith with a single relational database implemented with a single web-based user interface with careful design considerations for mobile devices to keep overall cost down. Each of the domain the architect identified earlier appears as components if time and resources are sufficient. The architect should consider creating the same separation of tables and other database assets as the domain components, allowing for architecture to migrate to a distributed architecture more easily if future requirements warrant it. Pwede din. Ito, so user interface, UI component. And then this one, overrides, purchase, goes to make order and delivery, promotion. Because the architecture style itself doesn't inherently handle customization, the architect must make sure that the feature becomes part of domain design. In this case, the architect designed an override endpoint where developers can upload individual customizations. Correspondingly, the architect must ensure that each of the domain components references the override component for each customizable characteristic. This would make a perfect fitness functions. Ito, recipes, tapos location. Ang weird itong ito, architecture, no? Promotion. Override endpoint. Okay. So ito, parang switch to. So parang i-split yung traffic. Parang ganun. Or yung i-split yung process. Pwedeng i-turn off yung naka-implement and then yung developers can just plug yung override niya so pe-plug niya yung so mata-divert yung process to papunta dun sa location from the overrides. Okay. Microkernel. One of the architecture characteristics the architect identified in silicon sandwiches was customizability looking at domain architecture isomorphism. An architect may choose to implement it using a microkernel, as illustrated in figure 18-2. The microkernel, common purchase, local, deliver, mga database na. In figure, the core system consists of domain components, a single relational database, as the previous design, careful synchronization between domains, This customization appears in a plugin to common ones in a single set of plugins, and a series of local ones, each with their own data. Because none of the plugins needs to be coupled to the other plugins, they can Each maintain their data, leaving the plugin default coupled. The other unique design elements here utilizes the backend frontends or BFF. Backend for plugins. Backend for frontends, BFF. Okay. Making the API layer a thin microkernel adapter. It supplies general information from the backend, and the BFF adapter translates the generic information into suitable format for the front-end device. For example, BFF for iOS will take the generic output from backend and customize it for what the iOS native application expects. Adapter allows for the richest user interface and the ability to expand support other devices in the future. One of the benefits of microkernel communication with either Silicon Sandwich architecture can be asynchronous. Architecture doesn't require extreme performance or elasticity requirement, and none of the operations will be lengthy. At malapit na ako matapos Distributed case study. Going gun. The Going Gun GGG kata presents more interesting architecture challenges. Based on the component analysis in case study Going Gun discovering components on page 112. I cannot remember that. This architecture needs different. Pero yeah, I remember the case study title, but I don't remember the context anymore of that case study. This architecture needs different architecture characteristics for different parts of the architecture. For example, architecture characteristics like availability and scalability will differ between roles like auctioneer and bidder. The requirements for GGG also state certain ambitious levels of scale, elasticity, performance, and a host of other tricky operation architectures characteristics. The architect needs to choose a pattern that allows for a high degree of customization at a fine-grained level with the architecture of the candidate. Distributed architectures, either low-level, event-driven, or microservices, match most of the architecture characteristics. Of the two, microservices better supports differing comprehensive architecture characteristics. Purely event-driven architectures typically don't separate pieces because of this operation architecture characteristics, but are rather based on communication style. Orchestrated versus choreographed. Okay. Achieving the state performance will provide a challenge in microservices, but architects can often address any weak points of an architecture by designing it to accommodate. For example, while microservices offers a high degree of scalability naturally, architects commonly have to address specific performance issues caused by too much orchestration, too aggressive data separation, and so on. Implementation of GGG using microservices is shown in Figure 18-3. API layer, REST, AMQ, in BLS. Real-time processing ito ano yung BLS? Binary something? Bits 3. Anyways. In Figure 18-3, each identify component became services in the architecture. Match component and service cardinality. GGG has three distinct user interfaces. Bidder, the numerous bidder for the online auction. Auctioneer, one per auction. Streamer, service responsible for streaming video and bits stream to the bidders. Note that this is read-only stream, allowing customization not available if updates were necessary. It's just a recap of what of the use cases na binasa ko. Tapos na pala yun. Shit. So, already finished na pala. Okay. It was fast. Kala ko matatagalan ako. Yeah, it kinda took me 30 minutes to finish it. Imagine kung walang AI ngayon, literal pa din siguro na Stack Overflow. I think, yeah. And also, actually, di na ako masyado nag-Stack Overflow before. Mga around, nung di pa masyado sikat sa GPT. I'm more on the ano na. Lagi ako na DigitalOcean. Tapos, yeah, Reddit. And Reddit din. Actually, gusto ko pa rin na, buti nga nangyari pa rin itong AI. Kasi, parang education is much accessible na ngayon. Nawala na yung dopamine mo. Baka naman kailangan mo lang i-rethink yung way of learning mo or parang way mo sa software engineering. Yeah, understood naman na mahirap yung market ngayon in terms of job opportunities. Pero for me, in terms of learning and of skilling, mas sa akin, mas pabor sa akin siya in a way na mas na-improve, ang tawag dito, parang nagiging siya, supplementary sa akin yung AI in terms of getting more information. Mahirap din kasi mag-build ngayon ng own SaaS kasi yung mga SaaS ngayon parang andali nang kopyahin kasi yung let's say pwede na i-vibe code yung ibang mga SaaS na yung mga SaaS applications, kaya hindi rin masyadong para sa akin hindi rin, parang mahirap mag SaaS business ngayon. Yung mga database nga ngayon, minsan bina-vibe code na lang So, yun. Kaya labanan talaga ngayon ng creativity. Tsaka kung magsa-SaaS application ka, mas maganda is i-patent mo agad siya or yung IP ka dapat. So meaning, pagka kinopya ni AI or nakita nyo na kayang gawin ni AI or yung ganun, dapat may patent ka para at least pagka pwede mo siyang ilaban sa in legal way. Hindi ko alam kung bakit hindi pa rin ina-address yung parang ownership or licensing sa AI Kaya may nakikita na rin ako mga open source projects na lumilipat from, nabot ako yung Git platform na yun So parang pinagbabawal nila yung scraping ng AI, basta anything related to AI. I forgot yung GitHub platform na yun. So may mga other open source projects na lumipat doon. So yeah, if ever balak mo mag-SaaS, huwag bilagay sa GitHub. Kasi most likely, i-data mine yun ng GitHub. Yung gagawin ko ang coding assistant, parang gusto ko i-host ko na lang siguro siya sa mini PC ko. Yung Git platform. Gamit na ako ng Git EA. Ito lagi ginagamit ko. Eto. Mag-host na lang ako nito sa mini PC ko. Convenient na kasi yung GitHub kasi online. But yeah, in terms of learning, gusto ko pa rin na may AI. Grabe talaga yung job market ngayon, no? Ang hirap ng ano. Parang kailangan exceptional ka eh, pagka gusto mong magkaroon ng magandang opportunities. Data architecture, data is not neutral, it shapes structured integration, blah blah, organization factors, examples, budget constraint, cloud vendor decisions, process, team maturity, dev process, ops maturity, QA capability. Example from context. If org lacks agile maturity, some architecture fails. Architecture must match organization capability. Domain architecture isomorphism. This is important. Some domains naturally fit certain architectures. Microkernel, high customization, space-based, high parallel description. Actually, gusto kong maranasan tong space-based architecture na to. Pero parang ang hirap niya proof of concept. It's kind of hard to proof of concept space-based. Probably in the if I have a time, I'll try to POC this space-based. I'm so curious on the on how difficult it is to implement this, as it's more on memory, and then you need to manage the synchronization. Monolith versus distributed conditions, same architecture characteristics, monolith, different characteristics needed, distributed. This architecture quantum thinking applied. Data placement, monolith usually single DB, distributed must decide ownership, flow, persistence boundaries, distress, workload design, synchronous and asynchronous, simple, scalability, reliability issues, asynchronous, complexity debugging. Naging may trade-off, no? Walang perfect architecture. Strong recommendation from text. Use asynchronous by default, asynchronous when necessary. Case study 1, silicon sandwiches. Nabasa ko naman na to. I'm just going to scan this. Quanta boundaries of deployment data communication. There is no best architecture, best fit under constraints. Yes. Architecture, domain, org, tech time. Organization, this one. Then technology, and then time. Distribution is justified only when architecture characteristics differ. ASIC is not default when use scaling needed, rate mismatch, resilience required. Good design anticipates change, modular monolith, future microservice, plug-in architecture extensibility. Architects challenge of question, answer this carefully, no shortcuts. Huh? Later ko yan to i-answer. Sabi, 5? You have high throughput ingestion, strict transactional reporting, strong consistency required. Actually, modular monolith dito kasi high throughput ingestion. Pwede siyang both eh. I can use microservices this one. That's synchronous for these two. Tsaka OR naman siya. So probably one of this or both. The system has uniform requirements. across all components like scalability, latency, and should you split into microservices or keep monolith? Uniform requirements across all components. Uniform requirements. Scalability, latency, and reliability needs. This is kind of tricky, huh? I think in terms of Quantum, there will be some services that will be keep monolith, especially for those who needs low latency. But for scalability and reliability, but this is the requirements. So these three is the requirements. Well, for sure, there will be monolith. Some services will be monolith. Because one of the problems of microservices is latency. Reliability and scalability. This is the problem of monolith. So yeah. Yeah, I think still this is hybrid. So I'm going to split in some of it will be split in microservices, and some of it will be split in will keep being monolith. You take one subsystem is causing timeouts due to rate mismatch. Oh shoot, medyo mahirap to. I think mahirap pala siya. It's kinda hard. Yeah, later. I'll check this one later. A system requires heavy customization per client, isolated extensions, independent evolution of features. Which architecture from the chapter fits best? Heavy customization per client. This one is microkernel. I'm sure of it. Microkernel. It chose microservices, but team lacks DevOps maturity. Debug and distributed system is hard. What risk you ignore from this decision criteria? What risk did you ignore? I think team composition. Team composition is the anyways, I think I can continue to part 3 now. Part 3, chapter 19. Napikot na ako last time dito nire-render niya kasi yung markdown. It's rendering the markdown before. So I get pissed off. Alright, so we're on part 3. I think I'll just read a few. Let's see what's inside chapter 19. Oh my god. Haba pala to. okay, I'll just read the introduction. Didn't know that this is okay, let me create a plan first for this. Oh my god. But this one is a lot of reading. Okay. May Java code pa oh. Anyways. So, an effective software architect must not only understand the technical aspect of software architecture, but also the primary techniques and soft skills necessary to think like an architect, who knows soft skills, guide development teams, and effectively communicate the architecture to various stakeholders. This section of the book addresses the key techniques and soft skills necessary to become an effective software architect. Sana naman mapush ko tong career na to. Okay, so now I'm going to change my view. Coding. Coding assistant to librarian. Plus catalog. I actually forgot where I left. Here. Kalimutan ko na kung saan ako tumigil. Kaya tumigil dito. Yeah, I think alam ko na. Saan ako tumigil dito? I think I stopped here. On ko lang yung topper ko. So, what I did here actually is I did some ingestion, right? Yeah, recency multiplier. Okay. Let me go to my GitHub. Where the hell is my GitHub? Oh, di ako naka-sign up dito. Nasa Google Chrome ako naka-sign up. Okay. And then, ano ba to? Here. Pwede ko lakihan siguro. Wait, categories. Ano ba ako dito? AI coding assist. And progress ko is... Oh, shoot. Huh? Data retrieval for categories. Okay na tayo dito. Alam ko na. Shit, di ko kasi ginawa ng magandang plan to eh. I did not created a good plan here. Okay, let me redraw agad window capture. And Scarlet Draw pala yun. Ay, mag-draw.io na lang ako para mas ano. Shit. Eto na naman tayo. Nasanay ako rin sa ginawa kong parang ganito. So, saan tayo dito? So, I think I already had the CSV. So, meron na ako nakakapag-load na ako nito. Pero mukhang kailangan ko siyang gawan ng way. Anyways, dito muna ako sa part na to. So, data transformer. I think this is where I'm going to use DuckDB. Yep, this is not Go. This is Rust. Actually, did I... It's my title. Oh yeah, I forgot to edit my title. for informing me. I forgot to change the title. Right, so okay. Ah, this is what I hate. I cannot remember where I left. Alright, so this is categories. Now here, I already have the categories. Downloads, great. Yeah, I already have them here. So here, REST catalog. Now, cargo test. I think I need to use Docker here, right? PG admin. What's again my admin example? Admin example. Admin 1, 2, 3. Okay, now. Okay, so my next is to, so this is the create registry for Get India. As this one is the DuckDB. Okay. Get connection. I think I have a problem here. Link.exe. I never. Okay, so most likely this is the same as the one that I experienced in Linux. The CC link something. Let's see. I think I need to install something. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. Rust target. Okay, let's try. I'm not sure what the heck is this. This is my first time encountering this in Windows. I think this is more of the DuckDB. This is related to DuckDB. Yeah. Oh no. I meant to try DuckDB, but is this an active issue? Okay, I need to Gemini this. Gemini. Bundle features bundle. I think I'm already in enabled features bundled here. Ah, it's already bundled. What? Cargo build? So why do I need to use cargo build? If this one won't work, but I need to test. Oh no, this is kind of challenging. They have different solutions here. I already did the bundled. Oh no, this is not a good sign. So, okay. So, I should I move, should I avoid using duck TV then? I already did this. I'll try cargo clean. Yeah, this is hard. Ano kaya problem ko dito? What the hell is this versioning? What kind of versioning is this? Is this even real? Let's see. DuckDB. That even... Oh yeah, it's actually real. Oh my god, what kind of versioning is this? Yeah, may handcam na. Ginamit ko lang yung sa mobile phone ko. Ginawa kong webcam yung old mobile phone ko. Sayang naman, nakano lang siya. Nakatambak lang. Okay, so if this one don't work or did not work, I'll use Linux na. I'm going to use Docker, then yeah, Linux. That's going to be a hassle because I also need to install Scash there. DuckDB alternatives. Let's see. Ayun, congrats, makaka-graduate ka na. So, welcome to the advanced, welcome to the real world. Polars. Huh? Polars? AI and vector search. LansDB. Embedded database yung kailangan ko eh. UA. Actually, di ko rin alam. Medyo nagsishift kasi yung market ngayon eh. So, nagiging hybrid na yung mga roles ngayon. Oh my god, ano to? Hindi ako binibigay ng magandang sagot ni Gemini kasi. Para as much as possible, try mo na maging advanced. So, incorporate, kung magka-QA ka, incorporate AI. Kasi magiging edge mo din yan kung marunong kang gumamit ng AI. Tapos, na-incorporate mo siya sa pagka-QA. Okay, a project-wide fix. Is this even necessary? Okay. But ano ito? Anyways, I'll just follow this. It says here. Well, kasi alam ko yung TDD is more on ano yan eh, sa developer yan. Parang test-driven development siya. I'm not sure ko how it applies sa QA. Parang way yan na pag-develop ng features, parang pagko-code ng features sa application. What's blocking this? Ito lang ayoko pag nagsiswitch ako sa Windows. Binablock ng cargo check ko yung ng RAS analyzer ko yung aking. Yan. Kasi hindi ko alam kung paano ang use ng TDD sa QA. Kasi ginagamit din naman siya sa pagko-code. Pero siguro, mag-start ka muna sa concept ng quality testing, sa QA testing. At doon mo siya isimulan kung gusto mo na structured way. Para at least maladerize mo yung learning mo. Start ka sa, let's say, yung mga concepts ng QA. Ano yung TDD, BDD, behavior-driven development, something yata yan. So, may mga ganun. So, yung mga types ng testing. Tapos, pag nakita mo na yung mga different kinds of testing, like yung mga TDD. Ako, may mga iba pa yan eh. TDD, BDD, parang behavior-driven testing yata yan eh. Tapos, yung mga types ng, yung mga phases ng testing, unit testing, integration testing, yung mga smoke testing na yan. So, para at least, mas malawak yung ideas mo. Yung fundamentals niya. Alam ko may book na ganun eh. Fundamentals of software testing. Pinakita kong ganun eh. Yeah, ito, Bernard Hose. Hindi pala kita. Ipat ko nga dito. Fundamentals of testing. Yung nga na kung mabasa ka sa libro. What happened to my... Okay, nagko-compile na siya. Yeah, kung it piques your curiosity, patituloyin mo lang siya. Oo, yun. Okay. Unknown. So, ano to? Cannot find the specified file. Huh? Di ba mag-create siya? Create registry, fixtures. I thought it's going to create it. DB connect. And then, parang weird ng plugs ko dito. Okay, I think I'm missing something here. Bagay na lang. Punta ko sa documentation. Alright, so here, installation. And then basic usage API. To use DB, we must first initialize connection using in-memory kasi ito eh. So, if database file does not exist, it will be created. The file. Okay, so I think I need to create this one. Pero mukhang kailangan kong gawin na fixtures. This is my first time using DuckDB, so I'm not really... I really don't know how to use this. Shit. Hindi ko na naman naka-copy siya. What's the final extension nito? BDB or DuckDB. I think DuckDB na lang para cool. Alright, so we can now test again. Should create now the database, right? Not yet. Cannot open fixtures test.db. Eh? So if I give the full file path. Okay, not that one. I thought it's going to automatically write. What if automatic? What the hell? Huh. So do I need to manually create it? The system cannot find test.db. Wonder what is the directory it's currently using. Though the usual is it's where the test case is being run. But anyways, so let's try here. Let's try a test at ductdb. Then let's remove this. Let's see if it's going to work. It's either because I'm running it on the root directory. Eh? Wait, it's kind of different now. I thought I put this one in automatic mode. What happened? Fixtures. Sige lang, Yuri. Kinahin ko lang to. 11:30 na ako magko-code. Then naglalaro ako. So maglaro ng Suikoden. I wanted to play Suikoden. This is interesting. Okay. Let's try full path. Okay, so it now. So it's now recognizing the file. Okay. Okay. This one. I think the connection is not. Oh, I see. Now it created one. So I think the error earlier wasn't able to find or locate the fixture file. Which I don't know why. It's usually only the relative path that I need to put it. But it seems that it needs the absolute path. Interesting, okay. So here, so in the example, insert into person. And what error I have? Unknown. It's always unknown. Catalog error. Table with name person that not exist. Did you mean PG enum? What? Huh? What does PG enum? Oh, okay. Maybe it's getting confused. Huh? So I think I need to be specific here. Para sa na function name. A table with person name does not exist. Did you mean PG? Huh? I'm just copying the example. Execute params. Wait, let me. Do this first. The insert. Table with person name. Kasi dito sabi is I just need to connect, right? Connect, and my connection is this. Medyo maggulo yung examples niya. Oh, okay. I still need to create the person. But let's copy this. So this one, create name. Binder error. Table person that does not have a column with yeah. Because this one is gender, no? Delete natin siya. Let's delete this. Did I save it? Oh no, I did not save it. Already created na. Alright, so but I think we need to have something like a reader for DuckTP. DuckTP UI. Now, okay, so let's try it here. This one. Oops. Let's copy this. Huh? I'm already copying it. Oh. Copy path. What on earth? Then port 4213. Oh no, it's not going up. I don't know. Connection refuse. Why? Connection refuse. Why? It's actually running FCA 25. UI server 4213. Yeah, it's 4213. Feel that it keeps restarting. No? Starting siya lagi. The local UI. Ayan, meron pala siya dito. Windows. DuckTP Windows. Huh? I see. I just need the CLI. Okay, which one? I think I'm going to use the R1. Hey, what's up, Delju? Ngayon na din ako nagko-code. Busy nga din sa pag-aaral ng software architecture. Saan na yun? The library. Yan. Tapos DuckDB. DuckDB CLI. Extract. Ayan. Try dito. DuckDB kasi UI. Dash UI daw. Mukhang kailangan ko patayin yung nasa Docker ko. Tuloy na nga natin to. Now, dito tayo sa DuckDB. Ano yun? DuckDB-UI. Ayun. So, how do I anyways, paano ba ito gawin? Gamitin. Do it later. Okay, memory, attach database. Okay, so saan daw yung path ng database ko? Copy path. Testing. This is interesting. Paano ko maki-query? How do I query here? Query. This is interesting. Parang Jupyter Notebook, no? Okay. Sige, okay na to. Pero I think in memory gagamitin ko dito. Ano lang siya? I think hindi naman kailangan maging optional siya. But false. So, if connection open in memory. Unwrap din siya. Ano ba in memory with plugs? Meron pala nun. Okay, so lipat tayo dito. Para matest natin siya lagi. Para I don't need to para lagi siya pagka nag-test ako, drop lang siya. Okay, so okay na siya. Now, so okay na yung DuckDB natin. Kailangan na lang natin i-transform. Ano ba yan? to DuckTV integration. Calculated. So, I think i-store ko na lang siya. These downloads. Efficiency multiplier. Create download categories, creates. I think I need to put them on a mas better ba ang manual code or vibe code? It depends naman yan sa ginagawa mo. Ako nagba-vibe code ako. Depende sa requirements and also sa importance nung kinocode ko. Para mas maganda pa rin matuto ka ng manual code para at least you have the knowledge of what AI is doing. And you will see the bigger picture when you're prompting sa AI. So both siya. Kasi sa work, meron ako, di ba, by back-end and front-end. Sa front-end, medyo almost vibe-coded yun. So, let's say, mga 70% vibe-coded and 30% manual. Or manual siya. Kasi ang ginagawa ko is, since front-end, medyo time-consuming for me and mas kailangan ko mag-prioritize to creativity, user experience, and past iteration. So, ginagawa ko, AI ang pinapagagawa ko ng coding sa front-end. Pero pag sa back-end, mas careful ako. So, 50-50 ako sa back-end. Kasi pag back-end, pag mga minor features or minor changes, or parang kaya ko siyang gawin with my eyes closed, parang gano'n. Or sobrang dali lang niya. Papagawa ko na sa AI. And if something that is critical, ako yung nagma-manual coding ako. Then, pinapavalidate ko ng AI. Pero, as always, kailangan mo lagi i-check yung quality ng code na pinaproduce ng AI. Kasi sometimes, ginagawa niya is, kahit naman gumagawa siya ng function, kahit naman hindi naman re-reuse, hindi naman kinocall multiple times yung function na yan. It doesn't make sense na gumawa pa ng another function just to, simplify things. Pero hindi naman niya i-reuse. So, may mga ganong instance yung mga AI. Kaya kailangan mo pa rin siya i-code quality checks. Tsaka nakapag-focus ako sa architecture and other stuff pagka kasama ko AI sa pagko-code. So, sagot is both siya. Both are okay. So, I think kailangan ko gumawa ng isa pang directory dito. So, this one is raw data. And ano magandang tawag dito? Because this one are processed siya from CSV. Well, actually, raw data pa rin naman to. This one is just raw data. Napang query. So, mukhang kailangan ko pa rin palang gawan yung this one, yung part na to. Itong part pala na to, So, I need to also do this one after ko ma-ingest siguro sa DuckTV. Transformer. Ano nga ba to? Okay, ito yung transformer is ito yung pag-unify ko ng data. So, ito yung gagamitin ko for the DuckTV. Yeah. So, ito yung mga raw data ko. I think, gawin na natin siyang raw. This one should be raw data. And then, let's move this to... Paano ba ang move sa... Panic na naman yung aking categories. Yeah, tas dito is Sira na naman. Okay. Alright, so just need to extend this one. What's up with my RAS analyzer again? Meron. Ulol na naman yung aking IDE. Ha? What the heck? Anong meron? Gets ko na. This one creates downloads. Man naman. Do not find in raw data. Wait, I'm so confused here. I see. I know now. Kulang ako na curly brace here. Alam ko na yung iniiyak na tong mga to. Okay, now we need to transformer natin to. Okay, what will be our naming for the database? So we have transformers. So the transformer will be here. So this is the data. Now, what will be my DB name? Yeah, what will be my DB name here? Gemini na to. Creates unified. Parang hindi yata maganda. Creates unified. Okay, Chris unified daw. Raw data. Okay, paano tayo? How do we use structs? How do we use structs for so how do we use structs? Gusto ko kasi gawin din yung structs for my structure. Parang manual pa rin ata ito, no? Kaya tayo dito, batch insert. So it has an insert method here. Ito yung parameter. Execute an insert. This function is a convenient wrapper or execute intended for queries that insert a single item. So ganun siya, no? Insert statements. So, ganun pa din siya. Okay. Insert into. Anak DuckDB. Create DuckDB. Tapos ito, drive. Diba hindi nagkukultang ras, lagi na lang kakalimutan to. Tapos DB. So with an arc here, DB. We just need an arc, right? Yeah, I think arc lang siguro. Ano ba strategy ko dito? So ito yung connection. So I just need to have a reference counter, atomic reference counter here, so that I can easily share this to multiple functions. Yeah, mga ganyan lang. DC Great Record. 15 minutes. Stretching. Grabe. Medyo madami to. Parang ang bobo ni Gemini yung ngayon ah. Ito yung appender. Appender yung gagamitin. Okay. Let's try nga ito. Mas mapadali tayo. How do I use the appender? Okay. Let's con add EP. AB that get connection. Huh? Hindi siya unwrap. Okay. Connection dot appender. Oh, okay. So ito yung table. Yeah, I forgot to put self here, self instance. Now, ano yung naka sa docu? Appenders. Oh. Anong struct pack na to? Okay, so I'll try to just use this. Does it need to be mutable? Okay. Kailangan mutable siya. Appender that append rows. Okay, append rows. Then data. That's it. Okay, so hindi ko gets yung appender. Masyadong kulang yung example niya. Appender rows into iterator. Appender params. Append multiple rows from iterator. From iterator. So, kailangan iterator yung ipapasa ko. Into iter. Ano pa rin? The trait bound writer into writer satisfy the following. Huh? No, medyo mahirap to. Mahirap pala siya. Yan lang ata, andito yung type. Mukhang ano to, kung dapat naka-slice na siya. Ito yung mga row for each item. Then kailangan ko siguro yung mga columns. Paano yun? Paano niya malalaman yung mukhang kailangan ko i-create table pa siya. Okay. Yeah, kaya pala pwede yung appender row na yun. Gets ko na siya. Gemini ito. Tapos, every time na in-initialize siya, oh no, hindi ko pala pwede itong gawing self. So, ito, static call to. Now, since meron na tayong table dito, a vendor, ito, kailangan is, we call this one, in order siya. Ano ba yung mangyayari ito? Parang weird naman yung parameters na ito. Create table. Pwede din to, no? Select all from read JSON auto. Ito na lang. Let's try this one. So, string na tama. Now, na natin gamitin yung appender na yan. Connection that execute. Insert into format natin siya. Table. Insert into and then name description homepage. Name description homepage. Categories. Documentation repository. Documentation repository. Updated. Update created. Rank score. Rank score. File name siya. Anyways, try nga natin. Right, so let's try writing the test case. Test. Copy natin. Test repositories. Test repo insert, batch insert. Okay. Now, ang kailangan natin i-call dito is transformation. No? Transformer pala. Transformer. In data and then pinura tong isang part na to. Oops, this is not this one. This one. Put it in DB and then we need to make this one as arc. Atomic reference. Now, repositories. New, and then DB. Expect and expect the repositories. Try natin siya i-run. And we have an error. Okay, wala. Hindi naka-import tong PGDB. So, dapat mag-create siya ng table. Do it later. Yari. Medyo matagal yan ah. No? Wait lang, saan ba to? Pictures. Mukhang mali ata ako na wala akong data dito. Pero dapat mag-create siya ng table eh. You should be creating table na. Ito dapat siya. Kaso hindi siya nag-create ng this SRC test fixtures.tb. Ito yung in-expect ko eh. Pero parang wala akong nakita. Either nag-connect lang siya pero kasi in memory ginawa ko. Bobo. Z editor to? Yep, this is Z editor. Naka-in-memory pala ako. So, I should be seeing it here na. Tagal. I know now kasi it's being used by another process. Okay. So, hindi siya multi-threading. Dahil ba ginagamit siya, no? Tanggalin ko muna ito, transformer na to. Kasi tumatagal siya. Gusto ko lang makita kung mag-create siya ng table. Being used by another process. So, kailangan ko i-detach siya. Okay, try again. Tapos, hindi siya pwede, ano? Paano maglagay sa memory, ano? So, kaya pala, that's why it's synchronous. Parang di yata yung database na hinahanap ko. Kasi possible So, kailangan ko muna i-prepare yung data and then, okay. So, if I want multiple connections, I need to only read write. Okay. One writer, multiple reads. That's why I cannot do the yeah. I think I know now. So, ito na yung repositories ko. Alright, so I'll try to ingest. Ingest ko na siya. Sa testing pa lang to. Gets ko na siya. I think this is the right database pala sa akin. So, pagka-prepare ko, hindi na siya, immutable na siya when pagka gagamitin na siya ng AI ko. Alright, so, pwede ba disable lang to? Medyo nakakainis pagka kailangan ko laging and then repo that batch insert result expect unable to batch insert. Come on, kumana ka. DB to. So, dapat mabilis lang siya. Medyo matagal lang to sa transformers. Lumagpas na ako sa 11:30 ah. Oh shoot, nag-error. Meron ba akong... I think may mali ako sa syntax ko. I see. Gets ko na. Insert into tapos select all from. Okay. Insert into then shoot. Kumana ka na para makapaglaro na ako. Gumana ka na. Ayun. Pero bakit ako why am I printing it? Or no files found. Mukhang i-write ko siya as JSON. But it says here it needs to be a file. Yeah, I think ganito na lang gagawin ko. I'll dump it here. Shit. Where's that JSON? Kasi mag-guess tong appender na to eh. So, create. Kaya, okay. Quad people. Pag appender ang ginawa ako. Pwede din, konti lang naman. Yeah, appender na lang ako. Sige, tsagain ko na lang. Tapos, appender. So, kailangan in, ano siya, in sequence, I mean in order siya. Based dun sa create table ko. Item.name, item.description, item.host homepage, item.categories, item.documentation, item.repo, item.updated at, item.created at, item.rank score. Okay. So, ulit. Mukhang wala naman ako error. Oops. Ano ba yan? Anong error? Walang error na tumangukula ako. Either mali yung aking created at meron dito. May laman na ba? Wala pa naman siyang laman. Okay. Ang harap na namin. Ang weird naman. It's kind of weird. I don't know what's the problem. Cannot even see the error. Description, homepage categories, documentation, repository, updated at, created at, rank score. Huh. It's either it's crashing. Let's try to put a break here. Let's insert only one record for now. Either I need to call the append rows instead of okay. Either this is not a params. So here. Okay. So I need to put them in some kind of am I going to the writes the values explicitly? What's the first item by the way? Maybe it's violating the data type. It's either some of these are null. Oh no. Oh no. Katumuloy. Insert, unable to batch insert. My assumption is some of these are it has an ID, but I did not include the ID actually. Let's try item ID. I wonder what's the error. Oh, okay. Because I see. I don't know. I know now because this one is actually not sequential. It's just a primary key, but it's not sequential. So I mean, it's not. Let's say something. It's not automatically generated. Because earlier, when I tried to test the connection, it has something like this. Next value is sequential or sequence. So probably this one creates the automatic generation of the value for ID. Now let's try to query. There you go. Yeah, I know now the error. Okay, let's ingest everything. Ilang pala. But that's so freaking not good for an error. I'll improve later the error reporting for this. Because I don't receive any error earlier. So I don't. So that's why I cannot figure out what's the problem. Okay, it's failed again. Okay. This one. But I think I need to flush the table. This one has flush data into DB. Flush. Either I'm not sure with this one, flush. Since it's flush, foil flush. Okay, let's try this. Flush table. Connection that execute. Format. Truncate. Yung syntax nun? Truncate table. Okay. Truncate table. Let's try to ingest it all. Why did I already detach it? Not yet. Okay, let's see how fast it will ingest. Di ko pala siya nalagyan ng I did not put any timestamp. So it's a one write, multiple reads. Okay, tapos na siya. Mabilis lang. I think 100,000 plus ata ito na records. There you go. Nice. So I have now so I already have the rank score. Okay, so I can play with the analytics for this one. Nice. Okay, already had the integration. Let me just update my GitHub. DB integration, recalculate rank score, store the DB. I don't have yet a centralized configuration. Okay. So wala pa ako dito. I think I can pop this. Oops, runs catalog. Git add crates. And I need to add this one sa git ignore. Wala akong git ignore. There we go, meron ako. So here, anything that is DB should be ignored. Tama ba? Ayun. Okay, so dapat nawala na yung .db dito. Ayun, nawala na siya. Ano pa ba kailangan ko tanggalin dito? Raw data. Hindi yung raw data. Git add crates. Git add cargo. Git add git ignore. Git ignore. Git add that cargo. Config that YAML. Integrated DB, but configuration. Pakulang ko. Store commands to DB. Store commands. Commands. Creates. Retrieval, query, creates, in DB, issue natin is issue number main muna tayo since wala pa naman tayo dito pa lang tayo. So I need to hindi naman, ginawa ko lang yung go lang for may ginagawa kasi akong parser sa work, kaya ako nag-go lang last time. So natapos ko naman na yung parser, so sa work ko na siya ginagawa. Hindi ko siya ginagawa sa project ko, sa work ko siya ginagamit. Kasi mayroon kami ni-write na Python scripts. So, ni-write namin siya from Python to Go. Nag-ano lang ako, past study ng Go. Pero most of the time, Rust pa rin laging gagamitin ko. Okay din to. Gano'n kaya kabilis to? Ang simple lang nung kanyang interface, no? Yung UI niya. Pero gusto ko, parang Jupyter Notebook style siya. And then, pwede siyang in-memory. So, wait lang. So, pwede ba to na ang gagawin ko is ika-copy ko sa memory yung instead of magiging file-based yung ang gagawin ng AI, I mean yung database during execution. Kaso baka kumain nga pala to ng malaking memory, ano? Let's say, umabot ng 1 gigabyte, let's say 500 MB tong. I think okay lang din naman. Kasi iraran ko naman siya sa isang, hindi pwede kasi baka agawan sila ng GPU. I mean, nung LLM. Kasi pag nag-spill over yung LLM from my GPU, baka mag-agawan sila ng resources sa RAM. So yeah, I guess dalagay ko na lang to sa file-based na lang to. So, ang kulang ko na lang dito, ang kulang ko pa is yung commands, Rust commands, documentation, and then yung mga query retrieval. So, kailangan ko i-store yan dito. And yeah, I think kailangan ko pa rin palang gawin tong part na to. Itong pag-ingest from CSV kasi I will need to do this from time to time din pala. I think kailangan ko pala ilagay sa task list ko yun. Create a ingestion from CSV to Postgres. Data mine ko na kaya yung Rust documentation, yung Rust crates. Dami kasi. Ilan ba to? 1 query per second. Select all from pwede ba yung count dito? Max someone. Baka pwede dito yun. Pwede. So ito 248,000 yung records ko dito. Tapos ipe-fetch ko lahat ng repo na yun. So 248 ano yun? 248,836 times per second. No? Ito, divide by 248 seconds. Ilan to in minutes? Ito na nga lang. 2 minutes. 4,147 in hours. Almost 2 days, no? 2 days ko i-data mine yung crates.io. Pero maglalagay ako ng buffer dito at least siguro 50% nito. Sa mga around 3 days kung i-data mine 24 hours. I-data mine ko na ba? Yeah, I think yung mga highest score na lang siguro. Yeah, so lagay ko sa yung crates.io. Kailangan ko kasi yung features documentation ng crates.io. Kailangan ko yung documentation nito. I mean ito para maturo. So I need the documentation for this. So I need to data mine the API. Via API, I will data mine this and also so that I can teach the LLM what are the features that can be enabled for a certain library. Okay, create a data miner for features of each crate. Oh my god. Ano ba siyang endpoint? ito yung crate name, no? Tapos features niya. Full FS sync. Yeah, I think okay to. Kaso, wala siyang documentation. Ano yun? Wala, hindi ko nakalimutan ko kung nasaan siya. Di ko data na save. Yeah, I did not save it. Ato APIs. Oh no. Ato data access policies. May RSS feed siya. Third XML, data dumps. Ato open API JSON. Ano? Download nga ako ng Swagger UI Docker Compose. Ayan. Ano tayo dito? Swagger UI Docker.compose. Eh, 8080. Anong gagawin natin? And then, ang endpoint na iloload niya is ito. Ayan. Ha, ito. Okay. Session, categories, user, crates. Invalid origin header. Okay. Saan yung features dito? Ah, wala akong makitang features. So, most likely, yung crate. Pero origin header ko invalid, no? Mukhang hindi dito niya nilalabas. Siguro dito sa crates. Include versions. This parameter expected versions default. Ah, okay. Versions. Yung features. Try natin sort eh. Medyo madami yung sort eh. Ito, features. Mga wala nga siyang documentation. Paano to? Pero okay na din. Ah, mukhang ipaparse ko pa to ha. Wait lang, meron ba ako? Like, select all from. Ito. Oh shit, wala yung version dito. Oh, kulang yata ako. Okay. Kailangan ko ata i-load yung version. Kasi dito, in order for me to get the feature, haba naman kasi nitong version na to. Oh no. Ano to, features niya, sir, did derive na. Parang di rin yata ito yun. Ito latest to, ano? Parang di yata dito yan. Versions. Keywords. Kaya yung features dito, ano? I think hindi naman to yung lahat ng features niya. Ito pala. Oo nga, tama pala. Yun nga. Oh shoot. So, I think I need to revise pala. So, ito yung dumps, no? I need to load the versions. Ito yung, okay, ito. Version ID. Default version niya. Okay. So meron ako, I missed another a data for versions niya. So most likely here, pero I think nandito na yata yung features, no? Yeah, dito na yung features. I don't need to download na pala yan, no? Hindi ko na pala kailangan mag-data mine because I already have it here. So wala ko ng magandang documentation, no? Features niya. Okay, so I need to include version. Retrieval for versions. Version already. Anong ng magandang language? I think kung saan yung category na gusto mo. I mean, development category. Game development ba, web, or system programming. Depende yan sa category. Kung mag-game development ka, it's either baka mag C# ka or mga ganong language. Kung mag-web ka, most likely JavaScript yung possibly pinakamadali. Version already contains the feature. Check default version mapping to get the latest version. Does crates? Itong crate ba? O no, naghalag na ako. Huwag mong bubuksan. Dito na lang ako sa Postgres. Max features version. So wala yung version dito. Pag web yan, most likely yan PHP, Python, JavaScript. I think mag-start ka na lang sa JavaScript kasi mas malaki ang community ng JavaScript ngayon. And most of the web applications din kasi ngayon almost JavaScript na yung ginagamit. Pero kung gusto mo mag-PHP, pwede mo rin i-try. So yun yung mga beginner-friendly, PHP, Python, JavaScript. Pwede ka rin mag-C# kung gusto mo mag.NET or Java din. Pero mas advisable na JavaScript or PHP. Yung Python kasi medyo hybrid siya. Hindi niya pure strike ang web, pero pwede siya maging pwede siyang gamitin backend for web. Yeah, kulang ako ng data. So, itong crate, i-connect ko siya sa default version. And the default version, I will use it to get the features of that version. So, hindi ko na pala kailangan mag-data mine. Hindi ko na kailangan gumawa ng data miner for features. Andun na pala siya sa mismong... It's already included here in the versions.csv. So, next time, my priority is... this one, parse this version, create an ingestion script to ingest this CSV once and for all, so that I will just look it on the Postgres database. Dependencies. Okay, I think it's okay na. Buti pala tinignan ko. Kala ko documentation yung nandito sa Swagger. Hindi din pala, no? Alright, that's it. So, maraming salamat, guys. And actually, I wasn't supposed to do this, pero medyo napabilis yung pag-aaral ko ng software architecting part 2. So tomorrow, rest day. Then Monday ulit. So part 3 na ako ng software architecture book. So hopefully, I can finish the entire book for the next 2 weeks. And then pure AI na ako after that. So it's going to be months of AI development and study. Pero tapusin ko lang saglit yung last part na ako ng software architecting book. Next year ulit. Ganun. Next year na ulit ako mag-architecture book. Yeah, that's it, guys. So maraming salamat. See you on my next stream and bye-bye.